My ex-husband tried to hide his $2 million lottery win during our divorce. His celebration photo was tagged at our vacation home he claimed didn't exist. I never planned to check my ex's social media that night. After 11 months of divorce proceedings, I was exhausted from his constant lies about our assets. But my sister called me at 2 a.m., her voice urgent. Emily, you need to see what Mark just posted. When I opened Instagram, there he was, Perrin, my soon-to-be ex-husband, grinning widely, holding a giant lottery check for $2.1 million. The caption read, "Sometimes life gives you a fresh start exactly when you need it. Number blessed number new beginnings." The time and stamp showed he'd won 3 weeks earlier, pert and right in the middle of our divorce proceedings, where he claimed financial hardship and that I was trying to bleed him dry, but it wasn't the lottery win that made my hands shake. It was the location. The photo was taken on the deck of our Lake Tahoe vacation home. Perrin, the same property he had sworn under oath didn't exist. For months, my lawyer had been trying to locate this property. I knew we'd purchased the Rinamachini, but Mark produced falsified documents showing the house had been sold years ago. I'd spent weekends there for 5 years. I helped design the distinctive redwood deck railing visible in his celebration photo. Yet in court, he looked the judge in the eye and said, "Your Honor, she's delusional. This property doesn't exist." I called my lawyer at 6 a.m. By noon, we'd filed an emergency motion for contempt of court and fraud. Mark's attorney called mine that afternoon, suddenly eager to resolve things amicably. Too late. 2 days later, we were in front of the judge. Mark's attorney tried to argue that the lottery win was irrelevant as it occurred after our separation. The judge wasn't interested in that argument. "Let's discuss the property in this photo," the judge said, holding up the Instagram post. "The one you testified doesn't exist." Mark shifted uncomfortably. "A friend's place." That's when my lawyer presented our ace prank, the property tax records we'd finally located showing the brush that owned the house was solely in Mark's name, created 3 days after I first mentioned divorce. He had transferred the property from our joint ownership to hide it. "Your Honor," my lawyer said calmly, "we have evidence Mr. Reynolds has concealed assets, committed perjury, and now appears to have won a substantial lottery prize he failed to disclose during financial discovery." The judge's expression darkened. "Mr. Reynolds, would you like to revise your previous testimony?" Mark looked like he might be sick. "I may have been confused about the property, confused about a $1.3 million vacation home you've owned for 5 years, the judge asked. The turning point came when my lawyer played a video from our anniversary 2 years earlier, to Mark giving me a tour of our investment in our future, as he called it, clearly showing the same distinctive deck where he later posed with his lottery check. The judge called a brief recess. When she returned, her decision was swift and severe. Not only did I receive the vacation property in its entirety, but the judge also awarded me 70% of our marital assets rather than the 50% we'd been negotiating, citing Mark's blatant and calculated attempts to defraud both his spouse and this court. As for the lottery winnings part, since he purchased the ticket during our marriage with marital funds and deliberately concealed the win, the judge determined it was a marital asset subject to division. Mark's face when the judge ordered him to transfer half of his fresh start to me is something I'll never forget. The irony. If he had been honest from the beginning, our prenuptial agreement would have protected most of his assets and likely classified lottery winnings as separate property. His greed cost him millions. Last week, I donated $200,000 of my settlement to a legal aid foundation that helps people who can't afford representation in divorce cases. The foundation is setting up a special fund for cases involving financial deception. Sometimes karma needs a little help from Instagram and a good lawyer.